Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Kim with Lotus Within Yoga, and here we are, day 10 of my 30 Days of Yoga Challenge. So today we're going to maybe build a little heat in the body, get up, get moving. You don't really need any props, but if you have some blocks nearby, fantastic. It's always great to have those. Today we'll be working with the affirmation, I am allowed to prioritize my own happiness. So when you're ready, you can grab your stuff and we'll get started. All right, so we're going to actually start our class at the top of the mat, but I'm just going to stay here, right here, just so that you can see what I'm doing. Now we're going to come into mountain pose. So finding a nice standing position where your feet are firmly planted under you. You can feel all four corners of the feet. And you're going to just start to stack your bones on top of each other. So your hips are over your knees, shoulders over your hips, stacking the spine, nice long neck, top of the head reaches to the sky, palms shine forward, shoulders roll back and down the body, and maybe closing your eyes just for a moment. Just taking a few big deep breaths as you arrive here on the mat. Maybe sending yourself a little bit of gratitude for showing up here. Maybe doing a little body scan, noticing without judgment any tight spaces, achy pieces, or maybe where you feel really good in your body today. If you have your eyes closed, you can slowly start to flutter them open. And we're going to take our arms wide and up to the sky, shoulders still remaining back and down the body. But this time we're going to go ahead and grab our left wrist and we're going to just lightly pull up, just creating lots of length into the spine. And then we're going to tip over to the right, coming into this nice crescent moon. Shoulders still facing forward, hips facing forward. We're just stretching through the side body, maybe pressing a little bit into the left hip. One more big deep breath here. And on your exhale, you can come back through center. Now we're going to go ahead and take a hold of our right wrist. Big inhale, tall spine. And as you exhale, you can start to bend over to the left. Not grabbing and forcing ourselves into any sort of position, just a nice gentle opening as we prepare the body for a little bit of movement. Full inhales, full exhales. And on your next inhale, you can come back up. Exhale, rolling out through the shoulders. I'm going to come up to the top of the mat. All right, in this nice mountain pose, I'm going to go ahead, take our arms overhead and start to fold over the legs, allowing either, you can have a nice generous bend in those knees. There's nothing saying that that has to be nice and straight. Allowing the head to dangle, keeping those shoulders rolled back and down the body, thinking about taking your tailbone and pointing it up to the sky. And breathe. Beautiful. On your next inhale, you're going to come to a half back extension, excuse me. Maybe your hands come to your thighs or your shins. Nice, tall spine. You're thinking of your head is reaching to the wall. And exhale as you fold down. Maybe repeating that affirmation to yourself, I am allowed to prioritize my happiness. Beautiful. So we'll start by taking our left foot and stepping back into a nice little low lunge just to start here. So keeping those feet about hip width distance apart. And we're going to point that tailbone down to the ground. You know that I sound like a broken record, excuse me, every time I say this into our lunge. But point that tailbone down and then start to lunge forward, really feeling that into the front of the thigh, the left thigh, that hip flexor. Maybe those shoulders are creeping up underneath your ears, rolling them back and down, keeping your hands on your hips. We're going to tuck the back left toes under, and we're going to come up to a high lunge. Pressing up, meaning find a little bit of balance. Noticing if your legs are too close together, they should be at least hip width distance apart. So maybe walking them just a little bit wider. And we're pressing that left hip forward, drawing the right hip back. And breathe. Strong, strong, high lunge. Beautiful. We're going to take our back heel, and allow it to come to the ground at about 45-degree angle. And we're going to straighten out through that right knee, maybe stepping that left leg forward a few feet, really allowing those hips to stay nice and pointing forward to the front of your mat. And with a nice tall spine, we're going to start to fold forward over the right leg. Maybe you have that block, you can always bring your hands to the block, maybe your hands to your shin, but really focusing on a nice long spine. Full inhales, full exhales, trying not to hyperextend through your knee. Lovely, lovely hamstring stretch. Beautiful. If you have your block, you can move it out of the way. Take your hands to your hips. Nice tall spine as you bring yourself back up. And we're going to step back to the front of the mat, taking our hands overhead, big stretch up, and exhale as you fold forward. Maybe holding onto opposite elbow, maybe swaying back and forth, really releasing out through the back body. And breathe. Holding your breath in these yoga poses will not help whatsoever. So really focus on the breath. Beautiful. You can take your hands down to the ground. This time we're going to step back with the right foot, coming into that lovely little low lunge. So coming up, setting ourselves up with a nice strong base, feet about hip width distance apart from each other. Before we lunge in, we're going to come out a little bit, point that tailbone down to the ground, and then start lunging forward. Really drawing that left hip back, really pressing that right hip forward. And then again, your hands can either be at your waist, maybe heart center. Right now, I'm just really focusing on my lower body, so I kind of want to just keep them down on my waist, but it's really up to you. Just ensuring that we're keeping those shoulders rolled back and down the body. And breathe. Maybe even saying and reminding ourselves, I am allowed to prioritize my happiness. Beautiful. We're going to start to tuck the toes under on the right side as we really strong core, really strong in the legs as we start to lift up into a high lunge. Again, maybe this is saying they're a little bit too close together. I know for me, I need to take my high lunges a little bit on the wider side. It just feels more stable in my body. And nothing says that that back leg is going to be straight either. A bend, really to make sure that we're protecting that low back as we press that right hip forward, drawing the left hip back. Excellent. One more big breath here. We're going to allow the back ankle to come down, the heel there, maybe stepping that right foot forward a few feet, or a few inches, And we're going to keep that right foot kind of at a 45-degree angle, kind of pointing out to the side. Really make sure you square off through those hips. Nice tall spine, leaning with the heart as we start to fold down the left leg this time. Hands can stay up on the hips. Maybe they come to the ground. Maybe they come to a block. And breathe. Full inhales, full exhales. Making sure we're not hyperextending through that front leg. Bending that knee is absolutely appropriate. How bent is completely up to you. Keeping those hips nice and square. Maybe removing that block off to the side, bringing your hands to your hips. Nice, tall, straight spine, bringing your body back up. And we're going to come back to the front of our mat, into our mountain pose for just a moment. Big inhale as we sweep our arms up and fold forward. Our last forward fold of the class. You can go ahead and take those feet maybe as wide as the mat, holding onto opposite elbow, shaking your head, yes, no, really allowing that release of the neck. Beautiful. With those feet nice and wide off to the sides, I want you to even take them wider than the mat. Heels in, toes out, start to bend through the hips, or bend through the knees, sorry, as you bring your hips down into your Malasana yogi squat. I'll come up here so you can see. So from here, toes out, heels in, start to bend through the knees, bringing the seat down. Again, if you have a block, it can feel quite nice to come down to sit on that block. Nice tall spine. You can take your elbows up to the insides of your knees and help squeeze them open. Hands at heart center. Roll those shoulders back and down the body. And breathe. Beautiful. If you have that block, you can just remove it. Taking your hands behind you as you come find yourself in a seated position. Let's go ahead and laying down onto our spines. All right, once you're on your back, have a bend in the knees, take your hips, shift them over to the right side of the mat, allow them to drop over to the left. As you come into this reclined twist, keeping both shoulders down and grounded on the mat. Maybe your gaze drops over your right shoulder, if your neck allows. And breathe. Slowing down the breath. Excellent. Slowly, one knee at a time, coming back through center. This time, walking your hips, shifting them over to the left and allowing the knees to drop over to the right. Arms can come to a cactus or T shape. Maybe the gaze comes over the left shoulder. Just keeping both shoulders down on the mat, collarbone, facing up to the sky. And breathe. Two more breaths right here. Slowly, one knee at a time, come back through center. Go ahead, hug your knees in towards your chest, taking them wide, maybe coming into this happy baby with the soles of the feet to the sky. Maybe your hands come to hold either your big toe or the outer edge of your foot, allowing your arms to help pull your knees closer towards the ground. Tailbone stays rolled down, shoulders stay down. Still maintaining a nice, tall, long spine. Excellent. Go ahead, hug it in one more time. Nice tight squeeze and release out into Shavasana. Take up some nice, lots of space. Toes flop to the side. Palms shine to the ceiling. Shoulders back and tucked under the body. And start to find softness through your self-talk, through your forehead, your eyebrows, your eyes, your cheeks, your jaw. And allow yourself to feel heavy, as if you were to melt into your mat. As you give yourself permission to find stillness. And gently bring your awareness back to your surroundings. Wiggling through the fingers and the toes. Feeling out your wrists and your ankles. Your hands overhead for a big good morning stretch. Hug your knees into your belly. Give yourself a hug, a squeeze. And roll to one side as you press yourself up to a comfortable seated position. All right. Thank you again for joining me for day 10 of 30 Days of Yoga. I hope you are enjoying these classes. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Share it with a friend. It really helps keep free yoga on the internet. Thank you so much. Namaste.